Hello everyone, welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm your host Scott Wagner. Our guest is Renee Bostic, head coach of the women's basketball team here at West Virginia State. Her team went 1-1 in road games last week, notching a victory over Aldous and Broadus, then taking a tough loss Monday night to the Lady Falcons of Fairmont State. Welcome to the show, Coach. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. No. The Aldous and Broadus game, you shot a very high percentage in that game, getting the victory. It was a double-digit victory, and it was pretty much from start to finish. Talk about that game a little bit and what was successful for you.
Yeah, as you said, we shot well. I believe we shot over 50% from the field for the game, for the field and the three-point line, which is a really good thing for us. We out-rebounded them by 10, I think, for the game. So when we do those things, we're usually successful.
Yeah, and then you talked a little bit about how you were able to get in transition when we were talking off camera earlier. How were you able to do that, and what is the difference in the way the team's playing when they're getting transition buckets?
Well, we got transition buckets from our defense. We got some defensive stops, and we just pushed the ball. We have some very athletic posts and guards, and when we're running and we're getting the ball up, and our first option is looking for transition as opposed to slowing it down and running a quick hitter or a motion offense, we're pretty successful.
It was also a good passing game and balanced scoring for your team. It seems like when this team's really firing on all cylinders, it can come from anywhere.
Well, with our transition, it's not just one person, it's everybody. And when we do get transition buckets, that means all 5 people are running, and it's not just one person that you're trying to stop. And it's basically the person who's closest to the basket, and we throw the ball up, and they catch it, they finish, and we go down and play defense again.
Yeah. One of the cool things about this team this year is your depth that you have, and I want to talk a little bit about your rotation and how you decide when to play players and when do you keep them on the bench. I know it's a lot about feel for you this year, especially when you have that kind of depth.
Well, we have depth, but we don't. We know with non-active players, but we have players that can play multiple positions. We have some guards who are playing forwards for us and some forwards who are playing guard positions. We're just trying to look for the right lineup. We've gone small. We've had 5 guards on. At one point, we've gone pretty big. We've had 3 of our big players in. It's more about, feel of the game, who's playing well, and what unit is clicking the best.
You mentioned rebounding in that Aldous and Broadus game. Yeah, you shot the ball really well, but this team has the capability of going out and out-rebounding almost any team that you face in this conference. How big of a role does that play, or do you focus on that game by game? That rebounding statistic?
Rebounding is a big thing for us. When our guards are rebounding, we're out-rebounding people, and I think that's really been our Achilles heel. When we get our guards to go down and get quality rebounds, we're doing well. You look at Aldous and Broadus, their leading rebounder was number 15, who's their point guard. She was averaging 9 rebounds a game, so we were able to have a really good rebounding night because Sissy Wagner, who played a lot of point guard for us on Saturday, she was our leading rebounder. So when our guards are mixing it up and crashing the boards and boxing out, then we're usually on the positive side of rebounding.
Yeah. And then you went up to Fairmont State Monday night, took a tough loss. In that first half, it was just a great basketball game. Both teams shooting the ball really well. Talk about that first half a little bit and what kind of game that was to start.
We started off slow. I think we were down by like 6 or 7, just straight off the tip. And then we kind of composed ourselves, and at halftime, I believe it was 48-47. We were out-rebounding them by about 8, and we had a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. And that was basically that we settled down, our defense generated our offense. We got a lot of transition buckets. I think for the game, Asia Greenlee finished with like 20 points, and she had probably about 12 in the first half, and those were just off of transition buckets around the basket.
Yeah, and then her 8 points in the second half came in limited minutes because of foul trouble. I know that you don't want to talk about foul trouble there, but that played a big role in her just not being in rhythm there in the second half, not being able to play her significant minutes there.
Yeah, well, you talk about our depth, and we have depth, but we don't. When you have 9 players, when you have one player who has 3 or 4 fouls, that sometimes puts a damper on you. And Asia is a huge part of our offensive and our defensive flow. And with her having 3 fouls, we weren't able to start her in the second half. So, she missed some quality minutes that she probably could have gotten. But the second half, we just kind of came out flat. we let them, get a couple of baskets on us, and it was just a dogfight throughout the rest of the game.
They have a player in Caitlin Snyder. She runs a lot of point guard, some off guard for them. Just a very good player from anywhere on the floor. And one of the most impressive things about her is her ability to shoot off the dribble. But how did you try to defend her the other night, and what was your game plan defensively against the team?
Well, our defensive game plan was a lot of man-to-man defense. We broke it up with a little zone. But what we were just trying to do was push her out of her comfort zone. She does have range, but try to push her, a couple feet off the three-point line. So if she was going to get that shot, it wasn't her traditional shot where she's on the three-point line, and rebound and box out and get the ball and go.
One of the cool things about that game was Maria Femia making her homecoming, so to speak, as she transferred from Fairmont State. And she had a lot of supporters there cheering her on. And how about the game she played last night, just impacting the game in a number of ways?
Yeah, Maria was a worker for us. She came out and she was a blue-collar worker. She got a lot of stops. She got some tip balls for us, and she just came out and she just worked. I think, she hit a couple of three-point shots. I think she was like 3 for 4 from the field for the evening. She got a pivotal steal for us in the second half. She just worked. I can't say enough. She played hard. Wish that we could have gotten that win there for her and for us, but we'll have to get them if we see them in the playoffs.
There you go. Now, Bluefield State coming up on Saturday night. You played them earlier this season. What's the game plan going up against them? As you know, they have some talent on their roster there at Bluefield.
I think we're going to continue on the path that we're on. We're getting a lot more transition baskets. Our guards are getting the ball out a little bit quicker. So we're just going to try to continue what we've been doing, try to work on our rebounding and boxing out, and trying to get back on the positive side of our rebounding teams and taking care of the ball. I mean, even last night we only had 14 turnovers, which, most of the times when we're losing, we're at 18, 19, even 20. So we're getting better in some things. We're going to just try to continue to get better in those categories and try to come out with a W.
All right, Coach. Good luck. We'll see you up there. Thanks for
you.
coming. All right. This week, the Lady Yellow Jackets head up to Bluefield State. That game will be Saturday at 2 o'clock. Thanks for watching the Coach's Corner. I'm Scott Wagner, and I'll see you next week.
That's fine.